Woo! Welcome back to Geek Show Arcade.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey there.
Hey, I stopped gaming. I stopped gaming for this.
Good
to
job.
be here.
What a guy. You know,
Not really.
Way to be a team player.
Freaking Balaltro, the thing that I was talking about last week, their little glitch, they fixed it, but then they freaking did the thing. They accidentally
another
deleted my
glitch?
thing.
Oh
no.
Deleted my whole thing. and it
Accidentally,
sucked.
they probably just looked for people that were using that glitch and deleted their account.
No, I didn't want the glitch. It was bad. It was a bad
it-
glitch.
It doesn't matter even if there was a glitch that helped you win. Who cares? It's a single player game. You know, it's not like
You're
you
just
gotta
mad
stick
because
a-
you're bad at it,
Yeah, so
says James.
I am bad at it. I've never won. Stupid game.
That still blows my mind.
I didn't.
I can't even try those games. I'm just not.
I see
not
the
good at 'em.
appeal. I just I put enough time into it, not winning, that I think I'm done. That's
Not enough Not enough dopamine. It's just like,
No, I was denied too many times.
Mm-hmm.
I got further in Elden Ring. All right, this is Geek Show Arcade, where we talk about video games and video game related things. Lando just walked away for some reason, so we'll introduce him.
He had to get
last,
some
I guess.
snacks, apparently.
Yeah.
Jeez,
Who
this
knows?
guy.
All right, hey, not driving this time. It's James.
Hey, you can catch me here or sometimes at Comedy Sports down in Provo on Center Street doing improv. That's it.
All right,
I don't have a job. Give me a job.
get him a job, someone.
I need a job.
someone.
All right, we got Owen.
Hey, follow me here. I've got interesting stories about 20% of the time. So that's
The other
it.
20%, they'll make you dry heave.
And Lando is back, but I'm going to introduce him. His name's Lambo, and he's here on this podcast
back.
every once in a while. Oh, hey, Lando. You should
Sorry, I
introduce
thought I heard my
yourself.
daughter screaming. I'm here, it's Lando. I'm awesome. That's the end.
Oh, and we have a host, and his name's
Host
Tony.
Tony. Yeah, let's
Hey.
go. Not James.
Great job. Check me out on Twitter at QuatiTony or on other Geek Show podcasts. All right, let's talk about probably the biggest news this week. I don't even think it's getting enough attention. Is the Pokemon hack and leak.
Oh, I thought we had emails.
Oh, we do have emails. Thank you
Oh,
for that.
wow.
Oh,
Look
who's driving now?
Is driving.
Yeah, I am so far off my game from help desk after that I
Oh, blame help desk. Okay.
No, we're blaming you.
no,
Oh,
yeah, it was you
that makes
specifically.
more sense.
Yeah, no, not help desk in general. But I was trying to be nice, and you forced it out. It was James's fault. All
That
right,
makes sense.
What's past the weeds, Tony? Because you could say we're in the weeds now.
Oh, we're way past
What's-
the weeds.
Are we out in the
The swamp,
Yeah,
the Everglades.
We're
Yeah.
out. We're out in BFE. Is where
like
we
we're
are.
above the tree line? Is that if we're above the tree line where there?
There's
I
nothing.
don't know. There's nothing.
Just
Okay.
barren BFE.
So in the weeds, in the trees, above the tree line. We went to the peak.
Oh, man.
Anyway.
Oxygen deprivation. All right, we have 2 emails this week. First one we have from Amanda Stapley is writing back in. She's our Pokemon correspondent, which is good because we have a
Pokemon
Pokemon
news.
story. All right, says, to the question of Pokemon ROM hacks. I haven't actually played many myself. I have a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old and a full-time job, which doesn't afford me that kind of extracurricular time. Yeah,
Can
I'll say.
confirm.
All right.
But I did some research for you.
Yeah.
It's kind of dependent on what you want out of a ROM hack, since it's quite there's quite a bit out there, ranging from making the games difficult to making a better story or just injecting some cooler designs made by fans. These are the ones I think are the most interesting. Fire Red Rocket Edition.
Oh, I just got that one.
Did you really?
Yeah, I figured out. Wait. Nope.
Okay. This hack has you play through the story of Gen 1 as a Team Rocket grunt working up through the ranks along the side of
I got Radical Red.
alongside of the main story event. So it's like oh, that's interesting. Crystal Clear, a more open world take on Gen 2 that allows you to start where you want and take on gyms in any order. It also scales appropriately, which is a huge plus. Unbound, this is the most recommended by everyone, has a massive amount of content, well-developed side quests, and still gets updates. Pokemon content, but with original region, story, etc. So it's like a whole different game, just Pokemon style. Honorable mention, Pokemon Emerald Rogue for those who like the roguelikes. In other news, Game Freak got hit with a massive leak this week, and we are going to talk about that. She has all the bullet points here, and we are going to get
Sounds
to
like
those.
we need to have this person on the show.
And here we go.
She's doing a better job than I do. Let's be honest.
I wasn't.
I
ever
have that
gonna
story, the
question
Pokemon
that.
one.
Let's see. It says, I don't want to read all of her points here because we're going to talk about it. Spoilers. It's for later, but she has all the good ones here. And then says, that's all I have. Pokemon news is usually slow, so this is the biggest thing that's happened in months.
Yeah.
True that.
Which is crazy because Pokemon is still the biggest franchise ever.
Even bigger than
Thanks,
McDonald's?
It's huge.
Bigger than McDonald's. It's bigger
No.
than Marvel. It is still. Yep.
I don't
let me
believe
see if
this
I
for
can
a
find
second.
it. Yeah,
no,
yeah,
I think
yeah,
it
yeah.
is the most
Citation
profitable.
needed.
It is
No,
the most
hold on. I'll
profitable
find it. I'll find
media.
it.
It is the most profitable media.
Okay, well that I can
Thing.
that I could buy.
But
The qualifier there of media,
Yeah,
I could
media.
buy that, but not the biggest. Like Coca-Cola, Apple, gigantic
Oh
franchises.
yeah, way more.
Doesn't matter.
She has a PS here though. She says, "P.S. I'm a lady listener. Yes. Did I think about making a joke about breaking up your sausage fest? Also yes. I'm sure I'm not alone though, and for proper chastisement, please refer to Rebecca Frost, as I feel like I can hear her voice shouting, 'Tony!' to your response." Yeah, she would, and that's 100% correct.
I like Rebecca. She's nice.
Indeed. All right, thanks for writing in, Amanda, and we will get to that Pokemon hack story shortly. We have not a story, email here from Joey. It says, remaster my childhood, please. Hello, panel. Remember that one time I asked about dead franchises that you mourn? The gods must have been listening that day because Soul Reaver is back, baby. Yeah, I'm very excited for that Soul Reaver comeback, the remake. What is the real reason for this email, you're asking yourself? Simple. Where do you feel these remakes or remasters place themselves in the industry? Seems like people love it when the games are old, quote, old enough. Horizon Zero Dawn remaster is a no for fans, it seems. Then Silent Hill 2 again becomes a horror classic. What is the secret sauce for remakes in your opinion? What does this do to the industry if we Hollywood nostalgia bait games? What does it do for physical or historical video games? So many questions, but only your answers will do. Thanks for reading.
You know what,
Joey.
You know what? Here's what. You
What?
look at the middle class, the people with disposable income, the highest, the biggest class of people with disposable income, which is the middle class typically. That is where you'll find the nostalgia running thick. So right now,
For sure.
all the movies, all the retro stuff, but it's happened with almost every generation. The old is new again, and
Just look at the pants kids are wearing these days.
Jinko
now.
jeans.
The
They're
Jinkos are
Jinkos.
back.
I have seen videos of dads getting their Jinko jeans out of storage and wearing them next to their kids, and the kids are like, "What?" Like literally
gross,
the
Dad.
same. Literally, like, and I hope it ruins the whole I hope it ruins it for them. Like they're like, "Oh, I remember when I had my Jinko jeans," and they come put them on, and they're like, "Oh, it looked like my dad in the '80s or what was it,
Gross.
'90s,
90s,
late
'90s, early 2000s.
late '90s when you could fit a whole, I don't know, book,
Dude,
math
there
book
were-
in your back pocket."
Man, there were some Jinkos that had enough material for 4 pairs of pants.
What was the utility? Were they for skaters to have loose fitting clothes?
There
Like,
was no utility for it.
There's no utility. It was
a
just-
style thing.
that rots my brain. I can't handle that. But I think you'll find the same thing with video games. We saw a resurgence in Pokemon stuff because this is the class of people. This is the age of people that's what they grew up with. You're gonna see all these and then retro gaming came along and ruined the whole thing because then you can actually go back and play the original. And they were like, wait a second, how are we supposed to remaster these and resell them if you can just go play the originals again? This is some crap. And so
Yeah, I think a lot depends on how long the original game has been out, if a remaster is going to take or not. Now, the reason the Horizon Dawn remaster isn't going over well when it was announced I think, is because the game itself is only like 7 years old.
Yeah.
It's not that old.
Has there been a bunch of technology changed since
that's
then?
the thing. Like you look at
Is
it,
it changing engines? Like, is it?
It might be an updated version of the engine that it was
Yeah.
on before, but it looks better, but not like, oh man, that looks a lot better.
Yeah, I'm more of a sequel or prequel guy for those ones that aren't ready to be remastered. Like, give me new content,
new
in a
content,
new
for
engine,
sure.
right? Same world,
Yeah.
new content.
Well, and the reason the Silent Hill 2 one worked is because that's a classic game. First
When
of
did
all,
that come out?
just last week, Silent Hill 2 remake. Oh, the
no,
original?
original,
was a PS2 game. So
Okay,
it was
so
like
it's got 10,
it's got like 20 years.
20 years, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a long
That's-
enough time that people are like, "Oh yeah,
Right.
I want to
I'm
play
gonna-
through that again because it's
I
been
want-
20 years since I touched it."
I want James to give us the definitive amount of years then of when it is. How many years is it, James?
I touched it. What are you talking about?
How many years before something is nostalgic enough to remake?
Oh, that's an
Silent
equation.
Hill-
You're half your age plus 7.
I love that.
Half my
That's-
age plus 7 would mean
Yeah, it's the same as dating rules.
I like that a lot.
27 years?
So-
that's a lot. Like
Yeah.
You think it's 27 until you figure out how old you are.
no, I'm saying the number is 27. So that means nothing before 2000.
Have you worn
Or, I mean,
Jinko
only-
jeans in
I think-
27 years?
I think
Only
maybe we
before
need to amend
2000,
the
I mean.
dating one. Half your age plus 4. Half your age plus
That's
4.
weird, specifically
for-
based off your previous story, but okay.
Wait, what?
But yeah, I would say the cutoff is, in my opinion, 15 years.
Yeah,
at
that's
the
healthy.
earliest.
That's when development can start.
Yeah,
That's when you can start being like, we're gonna
we're gonna
remaster
remake this.
this.
It's been 15 years since it was
Yeah.
out.
We'll
you
have
know.
it done in 3 years, and then you're at 17, 18 years. You're close to 20.
Somewhere around there. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's
15 to 20 years.
And the other factor is too, it has to be good. You know, if the Silent Hill 2 remake had come out and been poopy, which I'm going to talk about, it actually is in a way.
Didn't they do this with Resident Evil too?
Yeah,
like
and
it
they
nailed
hit
it,
out
right?
of the park.
Nailed it with the remake there. Some games
So-
you can.
So that's the
they
thing
have a-
is like, even if it's been long enough that you can remake it, if you don't
Yeah.
do a good job, then it's going to tank anyway.
Right.
So, and that's the thing. The Resident Evil remakes, 2 was phenomenal.
Gives me
3 was good, but not as good as 2. 4 was a phenomenal remake.
Give me a bad remake. What's one that we can compare to that's been a bad remake?
Final Fantasy 7.
You think that was bad?
That
Well, I
one's
don't
de-
like that they're separating it into multiple.
That one's
it's-
decisive. Some people really like it. Some people don't like it that much. But
They also gave you new content, like different endings
Yeah.
for Tifa.
I don't know what I'm talking about. I've actually never played it.
that's not a bad example though, because it's a little bit decisive for sure.
Yeah,
But
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know enough remakes to know a bad one though. So
I'm trying to think, because there definitely have been remakes that were worse than the original. I just can't think of any off the top
Yeah.
of my head. I'd have to look it up. Anyway, thanks for writing in, Joey. And I don't know if we answered that in a roundabout way, but we definitely said words.
We said
Only
a
our-
lot of words.
only our answers will do.
That's
So
right.
Well, and why say 5 words when 350 will do?
see, there's nobody here to stop me. Where's Jaren at? No, he's not here. I'm gonna run.
Is Jared the one that keeps the show on the road?
No.
Yeah.
No, that
His-
can't be. That's my
his-
job.
The anxiety that he induces in me keeps me on
It's
task.
just his presence.
It's
not,
just
it's
a-
not, he's
it's an-
actually doing it.
Oh, so we're getting anxiety free Owen tonight.
Yeah.
Nice.
There's
Dang
no
it.
there's no douchey vibe.
The blinders are off.
Harsh in my mellow.
The vibes are better tonight, aren't they? You're
I'd say
right.
good, not great.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that.
Let's
The
talk
vibes
about
last show sucked, but the vibes this show are great.
The vibes last show sucked because the start of it was like
the driver
getting-
was just
was
we,
like
we went
getting
off the cliff
beaten.
hard.
was like getting beaten in a back alley.
Yeah.
Anyway,
James, that's on you, bud.
I love it.
For those of you listening to the podcast,
like,
not watching
like,
the
if, like
podcast.
if you just take the first 5 minutes of that show and just put a clip of his toe with some music or a beaver, you know what? Isn't it? What's your go-to, James? Is it an otter or a platypus? Is that remember?
Oh, are you talking about my goat?
Your go-to. Remember you had a.
I
Well, I asked for that.
You know what? We better just keep going before
Yep.
things go crazy again. I don't know if I like this. Okay, Pokemon leak. Big Pokemon hack actually happened back in August, apparently, but now they're starting to leak all the stuff out.
Are you a fan of when people mate with animals and or Pokemon? Because
No.
if so, you almost got it.
What?
In a recent Game Freak leak, it has sparked some widespread discussion among Pokemon fans. The leak revealed surprising lore, including stories about how humans and Pokemons can have children together. While this is a significant departure from the usual themes of non-BDSM, the Pokemon series, it adds new layer of complexity and intrigue to the Pokemon universe.
Inclusivity.
Sounds-
Yeah, it
What is
also
happening?
talks about how they wanted to do an MMO.
Yeah,
So this is
so
kind of like the notes, right? Like these are the napkin notes for Pokemon, right?
yeah, well, even some of the source code. So we had
Ooh.
the source code leaked for Heart of Gold, Soul Silver, and Black 2 and White 2.
I also
So-
got some charts if you want to see them.
I do.
I got them pulled up. You were partially right, Landon. The highest grossing media franchise of all time
Pokemon.
is Pokemon. And
Yep.
then if
No.
you're curious about something else, what is the 100 most top pornified media
hold on,
franchises?
hold on. I
Pokemon
gotta-
ranks
hold
number
on.
one still.
Not
Okay,
surprising.
James. Okay, I gotta defend myself here. You did not say media. You said the largest franchise of all time.
You also
That's-
said
that can't be
use,
true.
which is a weird way of saying it.
Unilever.
So I was right, and you were right with the qualifier. So therefore, I was right. Just for the record, that's all I'm saying.
I mean,
Let's see. There was mentions of Gaia in this leak, which is thought to be the Gen 10, which would be the next Pokemon game's code name. Man, what else? All kinds of details on the purported unreleased Detective Pikachu sequel and
like
other
like
planned
the movie.
other planned Pokemon movies and a new anime series.
Just
Supposedly
Pokemon doing Pokemon stuff, right? Like it's all the stuff they've been doing.
Yeah, internal discussions from design meetings.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean it's a massive leak, and it was leaked from Game Freaks, not from Nintendo. It was Game Freak, in case anyone was wondering specifically. And,
now when you say Game Freak, are we talking about like a disgruntled Game Freak employee?
don't know. We don't know. They haven't told us how it got leaked, but it definitely was leaked. So it very well could have been. You know, who knows?
And it was happening in real time on like X, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You mean
the-
Twitter?
The
Sure.
leak. Yeah, the leak.
Oh,
was-
really?
You could watch it as more leak came out. You know.
Oh, that's cool.
Centro Leaks was dumping it Saturday afternoon, so they're calling it the Terra Leak files. But
I
yeah,
love it.
it's like it's a lot. It's one of those things that's like, will it change anything about what Game Freak does in the future with Pokemon? Probably not.
What can
but
they do with
it
what
is
can
a-
they do with the source code?
If you,
I mean, I know you
mean,
can do anything, but like,
yeah.
what would they
Well,
do with
That's
the source
the thing
code?
is like with the ROM hacks, there's already so much you can do with it. I mean,
Right.
if you want to put in the time, but it also
So now-
opens up to more of the Pal World stuff, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, no, they can
Yeah,
pull
but
assets out
Pokemon
and-
would sue them so fast.
Oh yeah,
They already are.
they would sue them again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so crazy stuff that happened this week, and if anything else comes out, we will definitely report on it. In other news, Xbox is going to have a showcase this week, but they waited till Thursday to do it, so we won't be able to report on it till next week. But it's supposed to feature a lot of partner previews for games and expansions coming out. Specifically, there's going to be some stuff for the Alan Wake 2 expansion, which I'm quite excited for.
You would.
Jaren will be excited that he's back for that too.
Yep, he'll be
He's a
back to
big
talk
fan
about
of
that.
Alan Wake.
And also in Xbox gaming news, they got a new leader.
Promotion.
Yeah, promotion to
Rare boss promotion.
rare guy.
Yeah, which I read this kind of weird because like I read it as like, oh, a rare boss has appeared. Like
Yeah.
he's like actually like a good
I read-
boss or something.
I read that until Tony just said rare, and then I was like, oh, the game studio.
rare.
But if you think about like how many
That's
hits
good.
Rare put out back in the day, like I feel like they're in like trying to get to a good place.
So they are. I mean, yeah, I agree. They. I was surprised to see that they'd pull a guy from Rare at this point. But I
It's
mean,
really
I guess
rare.
they feel like he was qualified. Jim. Oh, what's his name? Craig
Zemeckis.
Duncan.
Yep.
So he is the studio head of Rare, and he is now the head of Xbox game studios. So he's
Wasn't
the guy
that
that
Phil-
all the different game studios that Xbox own report to.
Who was
Huh.
Phil Spencer then? Xbox Live or X?
Phil Spencer's head of Xbox in general.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not just the software department.
He's got himself a lackey.
He's got several. But yeah, so the reason I thought it was weird though is exactly what you said, James. Rare hasn't done anything really of note in like 15 years. You
Yeah.
know? The last thing they did that I remember that did fairly well was Viva Pinata.
Well,
And
yeah.
they're currently working on a new Perfect Dark game, which I'm excited to see.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
So
Yeah, but this guy's like more recently has been doing like the Forza franchise at turn 10.
he's been involved
And
with
so,
that. Okay.
Yeah. So,
No,
well, I mean,
no,
really,
that's the old guy.
no,
The
yeah,
guy
yeah,
he's
you're right.
replacing. Hartman. What's his first name? I can't remember.
Alan.
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 Yeah, Alan
Good
Hartman
job, James.
was he was only in the job of head of Xbox Game Studios for about 10 months.
Well, it says Alan Hartman, previously head of the Forza franchise at turn 10, had
Yep,
been
so-
promoted to lead Xbox Game Studio.
So
His
he
leadership.
was with Turn 10 for 20 years, 2 decades. Yeah.
Comes after Matt Booty,
Matt
the former
Booty.
head, was
Yep.
elevated to a new role overseeing game content and studios.
Yeah. So it's they're just shaking things up a lot over there, and I mean, I guess if you got to move things around to find the right person for the role, then do it. But that's what's happening now, and we'll see what happens from there. If he's able to influence anything or change anything, or if he's just going to kind of let the train keep traveling down the tracks that it's on, or what.
I mean, ever since 343 decided to, do their own thing. I don't know. I don't really care. Just keep giving me Xbox games for the Xbox Game Pass. That's all I care about.
That's it.
Yep.
I have some Microsoft news too for
Hit it.
gaming. So they settled out of court for the Activision suit that was brought against them by a bunch of gamers.
Mm-hmm.
Bunch of gamers, that went through so much rigmarole, so much legal due process. I am so surprised that a bunch of gamers thought that they were going to be able to go and get a case and have it go anywhere. But they did. They went for it, and they announced just recently, I think it's this last week, that they are going to settle out of court.
Which means we won't get
the
to
ba-
know what they settled for.
Yeah, so they're settling out, and they're just, each party shall bear their own costs and fees. They're basically just walking away. I can't tell if the gamers, because they were just random people. They were just it says it was filed back in California by a group of gamers from across multiple states, who expressed concern about the potential negative impact of a Microsoft monopoly in the video game space because of the Activision acquisition.
Mm-hmm.
And Microsoft, they've taken quite a bit of bad PR after they laid off almost 2,000 people from its games division in January.
Yeah, but can't AI just fill in for those people?
Yeah,
He says sarcastically.
they've cut since acquiring Activision, they've cut 2,500, just a little over 2,500 people, which
Yeah.
is just a lot. That's a lot. Especially for how much they were like, this isn't going to be that. We're not going to do that. This is, everything's going to stay the same for a while till the dust settles. They did not end up doing
The dust settled pretty quickly.
the
apparently.
dust. They brought in a leaf blower, and it took about 2,500 people out with it. Anyway, so they're walking away. We probably won't ever know what the settlement was for until some sort of tell-all documentary or docuseries, or it gets dumped on some website. But but we don't know. They're walking away. I think I don't know. This is conjecture. Absolutely, the Book of Owen here, but I think that the gamers basically are like, Microsoft has an infinite amount of time to draw this out,
And money.
and we don't. Yeah, that's what I mean. Basically, they have infinite resources compared to
I think
how long we can be here and
I'll bet
go
you-
to, miss work, pay legal fees.
I'll bet you Microsoft came to the table and said, here's a little bit of shut up, go away money, so we just don't even have to worry about this anymore.
Yeah.
And at that point, the gamers' lawyers was like, you should take this.
Seriously, they
This
were like,
is the best you're going to get.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's amazing that they
it's already-
even offered anything.
The acquisition has already stood up in so many other places
Yep,
against
and
the
it's
FTC, and it's done. Like, what were you gonna do anyway?
So-
So yeah, I think they got a little bit of go away money, which Microsoft probably just doesn't even feel, and these
No.
guys are whatever.
Drop in the
But
bucket.
yeah, so there you go. Another footnote in the old Microsoft Activision saga.
Yep. All right. Lando, let's talk about Jackbox deciding to make physical board games.
Nope, this is not that. This is like that. So this is an ex-Blizzard CEO. I'm not sure who it is actually. Anyway, used to be a guy, used to be Blizzard CEO. I'm sure his name's in the article somewhere.
Mike
I forgot it.
Morhaime?
That's maybe the one. Did you get it from the article, paragraph 3?
Mhm, I did, yeah.
Owen, you know what? You're a real pal. I appreciate you.
Ex-Blizzard CEO Mike Morhaime's company Dreamhaven.
Yeah, so he's making a new company called Dreamhaven, and there's a game there coming out that actually I'm pretty stoked for. It's called Sunderfolk, and it's described as Jackbox meets Gloomhaven. So if you don't know what Gloomhaven is, it's one of the top board games to come out in the past 5 years-ish, probably. It's a legacy type game. You play over multiple sessions. I've never played it. It's one I want to get with James and play one of these days, but James needs to be in a
James
better
does-
headspace for that to happen.
James is not down right now.
James is not down right now at all. But someday we'll play through it and we'll have a good time doing it. But for right now, it's not going to happen. But this game, what it does is it makes Jackbox. So if you don't know what Jackbox is, what
I
log are
love
you
those
living
games.
underneath?
I love those games.
Jackbox
Great
is
party
super
games.
fun party
Mhm.
games. But the way Jackbox games work is you host it on a computer or an Xbox or an Apple TV or whatever. They make it for
People
everything.
join from their phone, right?
And people join from their phones. They have a whole bunch of games they play, and they use their phones as controllers, basically. So what Sunderfolk is doing is they're making a board game, like a D&D adventure type board game that you play from your phone, which I think is a super cool idea.
What a great way to marry the two.
Yeah, so I'm super stoked about this. The
so
writer of
there's-
this article actually played a
There's no
demo.
trivia or anything like that, like in Jackbox?
No, this is like the D&D type board game.
Less interested now.
Alongside up to 3 friends,
I thought
you
would have
choose
been
from
your
6
jam, Tony.
You choose from 6 animal heroes, each of which is designed to communicate exactly how they'll play. So,
I'm sitting here trying to figure out how is Jackbox style gameplay going to work into this, and it's not.
It's use
That's-
your phone as a
yeah.
controller.
That's the only thing. Jackbox mechanic, not
Yeah.
gameplay.
yeah. So
Yeah.
Anyway.
the connection type. I mean, it still looks
So
turn-based.
you
It-
still
it
play
looks-
on the TV,
Yeah.
and you each
and it
have your
looks-
phone as a controller,
Mhm.
basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks like it's turn-based. Where
It's
you get
it's
to
a
choose what you do.
it's a tabletop RPG, but
Yeah.
Could be
digital on
fun.
your phone, so it's easy.
Imagine-
So is the computer the DM, or do you
Yeah.
have someone pick the DM? Okay.
The computer's a DM, and there's missions that I'm sure they'll charge money for. But
Hmm.
anyway, I just thought this idea was pretty dope,
Very interesting idea.
and the fact that it's being done by an ex-Blizzard CEO, I think, lends it a lot of merit,
Maybe,
perchance.
perchance.
When this game comes out,
I
I'll-
like the
I'll-
look of it, though. It looks fun.
Yeah, it looks
Nice.
super fun.
Well, we'll follow it and let you know how it goes.
The only thing is, because you're at a social event, I imagine, to Tony's point, just the Jackbox mechanics, okay. But if it's some sort of social game that you're supposed to be able to get what you want out of maybe a 5 or 10 minute interaction like you did with Jackbox games before, this doesn't look like that.
Oh,
would
this
be
is
the
It's
a
not
same.
that at all,
This
no.
is a sit-down
Yeah.
campaign style. For
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I
So this is
guarantee.
not the. This is
I'd
not
play through
their
this with James
normal-
too if he was a better friend, but lately,
It's okay. You know what? You want to get James? You want to James? I volunteer as tribute to let you beat me to smithereens with the penguin guy, King Penguin from Super Smash Brothers. That always makes him feel better. What's his
King
name?
DDD?
King DDD.
You guys want to play Settlers of Catan after this?
No.
Sure don't.
Sure don't.
It's an
But I
online
will.
version.
Nope. Also
Don't
no.
care. Every time I
Alright.
played Settlers of Catan, I've just been like, this is terrible.
I end up hating the people I play with because that's one of those games
I'll play
where you have
Halo
to where
with
you have to hurt. Yeah, bud.
Oh, I don't
Or-
play Halo. You know that.
or anything like that. You know, you want to play something else, I'm down. But Settlers of Catan, big old pass solo, good
Come
stuff.
on. Let's settle.
All right, let's keep this train on the road, guys.
You want a homestead?
Whoa,
Back
that
on
sounds
topic.
Settlers
just-
of Catan.
That sounds just like
Next
AI.
story.
Those are just like AI responses.
Is he AI again?
Uncanny.
All right. There is.
Can I go to bed yet?
No,
There you
this
go.
is an interesting
Stop
story
playing this
here.
clips, Tony.
Oh, what? Stupid.
I
did
like
they do that?
moms, and they tolerate me.
I hate you so much.
Is it when you
Verge.
scroll down and it
Yep.
changes the? I
Totally.
hate that so much.
Totally took the wrong
The wrong link.
link.
The Verge
Uh,
does that. If you scroll
Anyway,
down,
I'll
Verge
find the
realizes-
right link and put it in later. But the story is one of the developers from Night Dive Studios, which we love because they're the
Night
ones.
Dive.
They're the ones that go in and they take all these old, usually first-person shooters, but some other games as well, and they port them over to their Kex engine and make them playable on the modern systems. And they usually enhance a few things, like they'll enhance the lighting and the
Enhance.
textures, and make it work with modern controllers and all that kind of stuff. They do a fantastic job, and they put out a full remake of System Shock earlier this year or late last year, and it's also quite excellent. Well, if you remember, they did a big remake of all the Doom game or all the Quake games.
Oh
And
yeah.
the Doom games, I think. Anyway, recently, but one of the ones that was left off, you had Doom 64 and you had like Quake 2, the N64 version, and made all these playable on the PC. And one of them that didn't get done in time was the PlayStation version of Quake 2. Now, what makes these games unique? It sounds like, oh, this is just Quake 2 on the PlayStation, or this is just Doom on the N64. That is not the case, actually, because back in the day when you had these games that they wanted to put on the consoles that were on PC first, the architecture and everything of these consoles is so different that you can't just recompile the game and tweak it like you can now. So what they ended up doing a lot of the time was they would basically create their own version of the game and just end up having the game have the same kind of feel and sound effects and characters. But like the Doom 64 is a completely different game from Doom or Doom 2. It's got completely different levels. It's got new enemies, and they had to do that with these old systems. So you end up with this Quake 2 version for the PlayStation that is unique. It's not just Quake 2 running on the PlayStation. And so one of the developers for Night Dive, in his spare time, has ported the PlayStation version of Quake 2 over to the Kex engine and souped it up to the same level that they do their other remakes, and he's just releasing it for free.
Oh, that's cool.
It's just a mod. All you need to do is have Quake 2, the Quake 2 version that they released a little while back, and you'll be able to download this PlayStation Quake 2 version and play the Quake 2 version, the PlayStation Quake 2 version on your PC.
That's
Hot damn.
dope.
Pretty dang cool. We like those Night Dive guys. They are the bomb. All right, let's see. I think, you know what? Let's talk about this last story here. The wireless controller for your OG Nintendo.
Yeah. How cool is that? You got an old Nintendo kicking around. You want a Bluetooth wireless controller? So I don't know if you remember. Most people don't, but back in the day, you could have four. They made a plug-in to give you 4 players for a Nintendo game.
Yeah. Well, and they had wireless controllers back in the day too. They were, guess what, Owen? They were IR blaster based.
Whoa! So there's a lot of input lag.
Yeah,
Oh.
it sucked.
Yeah, probably same. It's like trying to play the game by using the little gun for Duck Hunt.
TV remote.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gross.
You know? Well, based off that, this company Retro Time, they have they're creating something called the NES Hub, and it's bringing Bluetooth to the classic console. It's an easy DIY because the place to put it and everything already exists. So you can order it through 8-bit mods. It's available for pre-order now. It's going to come out in December of this year. Looks like it's coming out. They have it listed oddly specific at 5728. So, but it's no soldering, nothing like that. It just snaps into the expansion port. And
never got used.
That never got used.
At least in the US, I think.
Right. And it just sits right underneath the cutouts, and I guess the only hard part is getting the Bluetooth antenna to come out the back of the console. It's a little bit tricky, I guess.
Can you use any Bluetooth controller then with this?
I want to say that they are releasing one, but yeah, I think that I want to see, because I think so. I think you can get a N6 or the Super NES controller that they have. But yeah, it looks like it can do any controller. And the great thing is you can also get some software to remap buttons and stuff. So
remap.
So this would let you get that wireless SNES controller to use if you really like that comfort, and you can remap buttons and stuff. And
so the interesting thing about this is the fact that it uses that expansion slot that's just been sitting there doing nothing since 1985. But the other thing is that the 8-bit do already makes a Bluetooth NES controller,
right,
with a receiver plugs right into the controller port.
Oh, really? The front port?
Yeah, the front port right there.
Did those send power? How is it powering those?
I think it has
a
micro SD. I can't remember. I know I've seen some that have a micro SD port as well that you just plug into like any USB power hub kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just plugs straight into the port. So when I saw this, I thought this is cool because of how it does it, but we already have this capability.
Yeah. One of the cool things is remapping the buttons. So when connected to a PC over Bluetooth instead of a controller, the NES Hub. So the great thing about this, you can control it to a PC. It offers a web-based configuration tool through Google Chrome that lets you remap the controls and buttons. You can even switch to a keyboard and mouse if you think that will give you an advantage in playing Super Mario Brothers. I don't know. It's pretty cool. I just like that they took the old system and were like, this expansion port never got used for anything.
Yeah, what can we do with it?
What can we do with it? It says there were only about 25 NES games that actually supported 4 players at once.
So that's an advantage I think that it has over this 8-bit do port, is you can do 4 players at once, whereas this, the 8-bit do is 1-to-1, so you can only have 2 players.
Right.
But yeah, it has a little micro USB port on the front, so you have to power it on it. But yeah, for $25 you can get one, and once you hook it up and get it powered, you can use any Bluetooth controller with it.
Man.
It doesn't have to be an
That's
NES
sweet.
There's a whole generation of people that understand what getting their game console ripped off the shelf or the TV stand
Oh yeah.
by like your brother or your sister or your dog running through and tripping over a cable. I like literally have PTSD. Like I see my kids running and I'm like, oh, right, I have wireless.
Slow
controllers now.
down.
Yeah, hey, you're gonna rip somebody's game console
Kids
off the
live
thing.
here.
Like
Well, that
oddly
was-
specific. You know,
that
it's like
was
you're
one of
gonna
the
ruin
cool-
somebody's Spider-Man game.
Yeah, that was one of the cool things that the first Xbox had, was it had breakaway cables.
Yeah,
About a foot.
that was it. Yeah,
It's
it
about a
was genius.
foot after the connection to the console, and they would come apart. It would come apart
Yep.
right there instead of rip the console down and then break your controller port.
That was
and-
genius.
Oh,
By the
yeah.
way.
And I believe it was one of the first consoles too. I can't remember if the PS2 could or not, or the Dreamcast. Anyway, it was that generation where you could actually hot plug a controller. You
Yeah.
didn't have to turn the system off to plug in your controller
Yeah.
and then turn it back on. You could just plug it right in. But yeah,
Anyway,
that's cool stuff.
it's neat.
Super neat.
Yeah, it's
All
pretty
right.
neat.
That's neat.
You know it's neat
Still
because
it.
of the way it is.
And because of the way it is.
You can tell.
That's it for today's episode. Great job, guys.
We did
did
it.
it.
Stories. We did it. Thank you so much, Patreon backers. Before we go, we need to give you guys a shout out because you are the best. Patreon.com/HelpDeskArcade. And if you donate $6 a month or more, you get a shout out on the air, which Owen has for us.
I do. You guys, here's our super subs. What are we going to call these? Are tech daddies? Is that what we call them?
These are our we'll call them
tech.
Super Tech Daddies.
Aaron Faulkner, David Broshinsky, Connor Keesaw. Do you want ants? Because that's how you get ants.
No.
Okay. Aaron Faulkner, Jason Eatman, Mies Chonies, no mole climbs that can't be mountain killed over. True King of Synthos, Be the 8-Year-Old, Michael Shane, Tony the Home Theater Geek, Travis Johnson, Buy Geekshow Arcade Help Desk stickers at Pieman Graphics on Etsy. All proceeds go to Lee George Cade's medical bills. Jeremy, No Name No Color, Keslow, Eric Steinman, Eric Cruz, The In-Between Rating +8, Matt Nelson, DP, Wesley, Adam, Stuart Lloyd, The Problem with Society is Meatballs is Tasty, and Ryan. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you so much, Patreon backers. You are freaking awesome. Okay. Thanks for downloading us. We'll see you next week. Until then, Owen, take us out.
Hey, we hope you care.
Woo!
Humpy doop boop beep.